The bridge is in upheaval. The technomats' prayers mix together in a senseless cacophony while servitors work hastily to remove a hardened crust of sacred unguents from the warp engine's components. In the middle... Oh yeah, I see them now. In the middle of all this tumult stands Pascal with a data slate clutched in his hands, seemingly disconnected from the flow of activity around him. What's going on here? Magos, why don't you assume control of the technomats? Surely their contribution will speed things up. Pascal, this is now your ship and your temple, so start acting like it, you blasted cog. Magos, if you do not bring this situation under control, we will all perish. Act swiftly. Crew, heed the word of Magos Hanuman. Pascal, I kindly request that you take charge of this mess. What's going on? The warp sextant isn't responding to commands. The ship's spirit is rejecting our prayers in anger. I am currently calculating a plea that might appease the noble spirit. That would only be a hindrance. I'm searching for a way to rectify the error. Okay. Well. You do you then. The hectic storm of prayers and haphazard rituals rages on. Pascal, still as a statue in the eye of this maelstrom, makes no attempt to bring it under control. Bro. The Vox Master's voice is extremely tense, but carries no hint of shameful panic. Your ladyship, warp spawn have invaded the ship. Oh my god. We have blocked their advance by depressurizing one of the infirmaries in their path, but it is only a temporary measure. The crew are being ordered to arm themselves and pray for the success of the Lord Captain and her agency at Prime. Bro. Get your shit together. He said he doesn't want anyone else to help, so get your shit together. Pascal shoots you a look of fierce pride and says with gravity, you're right, this is my temple. His vox beams with power. Tech comrades, heed my instruction. The mayhem immediately subsides and the crew's actions fall into some indiscernible logic. The Omnicide servants start working in sync, and the Binaric clamor becomes a symphony of reports, which the Magos coordinates like a skillful conductor. Admiral down Pascal. Do not ever act like a spineless greenhorn in front of me ever again. Now make this rebellious lump of metal take us out of here. Your ladyship, I will not tolerate such disrespectful behavior toward the machine spirits in my sanctum, no matter how dire the circumstances may be. Look, they deserve to be scolded. The prayers of the tech priests surrounding the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a megadendrite toward you. Please take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. Sure, let's just do it. The huge machine in front of you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the screen background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depths of your mind. The typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the Omnicide's creation. Among the numerous controls, you see the mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as at the gate of the warrant chamber. Pascal's voice becomes imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine god, hear by command. Acolytes, prepare the incense instrumentation for the liturgy of machine spirit propitiation? I don't know the word. Senior technomats, recite the prayer to generate a current data report. Operations will be marked with the campanological protocol Omnicide Rejoice. There are so many words I've never read in my life here. I must inform you that for the purposes of safety, complete reassembly of the warp sections and updating of its data smith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at launch, the volume of aggregate calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts. But as we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit this procedure. Oh dear. Pascal looks down at the data slate in his hands. A minor deviation from the rite of operation for the sake of appeasing the spirit. What must I do? Deviating from the rite of operation? That sounds dubious, especially coming from you. Listen, can't you do all this without me? I'm no servant of the Omnicide after all. Just what must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the cogitator guardian. Am I going to get my hand back? The cyber gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypts. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will... I'm giving blood so that we can move? This sounds terrible. Will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it, we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass a protective protocol for defective connections and launch the warp sextant. Pascal's voice grows quieter. The laws of the Omnicide know no exceptions, and so in this ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and we may receive his blessing. Just do it. The metal jaw clamps down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath and releasing warm red liquid into its gullet. At the same moment, the image on the vid screen before you changes. Connecting. 1, 2, 3. Success. Access initializing. Gesture at the vid screen. What does it all mean? Reach out and touch the keys into a panel. By my authority, I revoke the inner viability protocol of the warp engine. At the sound of your voice, the cogitator's servant, whose bronze-bound skeleton is built into the cogitator's housing. I don't see it, but sure. Unless it's meant to be this dude over here, I don't know. With a screech, its skull rotates towards you and then stops in that position. Benevolent code, a voice receptor. Pascal emits a sequence of binary signals and then is silent for several seconds. I hypothesize that the defect is located in the analyze block. I register a reaction to the signal, but no process response. A temporary override is permissible. Megos intently studies the vid screen. The shell was created on a forged world unknown to me, initiating standard invocation of the machine spirit. Pascal leans over the adjacent instrument panel and sets his hands on the controls. At the same time, a quiet stream of machine code begins pouring forth from his vox. What should I do now? Well, Captain, I now ask you to address the machine spirit. Speak the following command. By my authority... Oh, I could have just done that originally. Cool. One of the cogitator's vid screens turns red. Oh yeah, it does too. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling to the rest of the tech priests, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omnissiah, make now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that it may be filled with their true and calibrated data. May the Omnissiah have mercy on our souls. This seems very long-winded, and I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care. Can we just take off and move? This is not adding any depth to my knowledge of the story. Amidst solemnity, the acolytes offer up the cleansed data crypts to the warp engine, one after another, repeating prayers of exaltation. After anointing the contracts with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the cogitator's slots. It's like it's trying to be all, like, cool and be like, hey, this is law, this is the world you live in, but it seems like it's really self-serving rather than actually of benefit to the player. The head begins to spin from the holy senses, foul-smelling clouds of smoke, and from the loss of the blood that the cyber gargoyle continues to drink from. It's still taking my blood? Pascal, am I going to die here? And the world swims before your eyes. Let this mechanism awaken in renewed purity. Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head, watching the vid screens. Suddenly he stops dead. No. His fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command. His mechadendrites, clicking their pincers, pull at one lever after another. Vid screens fill with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos what is happening. After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted on the cogitator begins to emit sparks. It doesn't, but we'll continue. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next bursts into flame and gives off foul-smelling smoke. Around you, the Omnissiah servants break off from their prayers, and someone bursts into frantic pleading. Pascal mournfully grates out. The massive errors in the warp sexton's calculations is destroying the data repositories. The offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. A moment later, the Magos continues uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative rising protocol, or an emergency launch of the auxiliary coils. The tech priest bends over the cogitator, but something in his pose and movements reveals his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks and its static image changes. Pascal is too engrossed in his ritual to notice. Read the information on the vid screen. Machine Spirit, can you hear me? No. Injury, rescue, query. Rescue. Yes, Machine Spirit, rescue us. Machine Spirit, this is the little captain of this vessel. Obey me and start the warp engine. O hallowed Machine Spirit, in the name of the Omnissiah and the Emperor, reveal unto us your power and guard us against our doom. Jesus, pilot, scrap, the rogue trader commands you. Rid us of your malady and submit to my will. Pascal turns to you. Look, Captain, the excess emotion in your command will render it unintelligible too. Pascal's next vocalization goes unsynthesized as he sees the vid screens begin to stabilize one after another. The strings frenetically galloping across the screen background are replaced with stable images or regularly updating status reports. Only one monitor remains inexplicably red. Ha! Take that, Pascal. Tech Priest's vox crackles in shock, but his report is as clipped and clinical as ever. Registering. Warp sections activated. Registering. Data stream stabilizing. Registering. 0 data errors found. Reporting. The warp engine is ready for translation. Ha! Take that. After a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its function and in defiance of deactivation. Look, Captain, Ravel here. The crew are almost finished. I rarely ever hear from the Master Helmsman, carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I don't know what you did, but the warp engines Warp engines up and raring to go. We're ready to begin the translation to the warp, your ladyship. What just happened? Contact Raver. The Lord Captain speaking. I give the order to commence translation. Yeah, what just happened, bro? I hypothesized that the ship's spirit heard our prayers and intervened. It summoned the power of the Omnissiah to do something beyond my comprehension. It appears the Omnissiah perceives and knows the power of your faith, Pascal. He would not have worked this miracle otherwise. Pascal, I expected you to save my ship yourself, not pray for a miracle. Your performance is unsatisfactory. I know little of the Omnissiah sacred machines, but what I saw on the screen looked strange. A non-standard output of information lost in the data core. The servitors used as data conduits are not always fully lobotomized. Fragments of their thoughts can appear even in pure code. Okay, I'm not gonna placate him because he sucked at his job. Let's go. Waiting for you to ascend to the captain's throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us. I should have killed everybody, shouldn't I? I should absolutely have killed everybody on WARHAMMER. I've just given millions of soldiers to the enemy. Nice work, bitch.
Valancia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void ships plunged deeper into the Koronus Expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
I thought we kind of moved on from the whole Theodora shenanigans, but apparently not. Stolen Star. You've completed chapter 1. Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Rosalio informs me that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Furibunda system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. The Furibunda system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Koronus Expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp and to allow the servants of the Omnissiah to inspect and heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time, which our astropathic choir will use to establish a connection with the prime worlds of your protectorate, Darganus, Janus, and Kiava Gamma. A powerful sanctioned psycho who can send and receive messages through space using their telepathic abilities. Okay, cool. Master Zachary Weiss has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Imperium. The Leech of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the Von Valancia's dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading. I quote, "Apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible." Oh God, what troubles befallen Footfall? Footfall, the place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Dolores. I'll be leaving your void ship when we arrive in Footfall, Dolores. Once that is done, consider Lord Inquisitor's task complete, brah. Don't you dare leave me. Your ladyship, young Yvain Winterscale, has asked me to convey his gratitude for your hospitality and for saving him from certain death. Not wishing to outstay his welcome, he plans to disembark at Footfall. Lord Yvain swears he will not forget his debt to you. I hereby inform the rogue trader that during a comprehensive system inspection Rite, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cogitator that are concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of algorithmic authorization. Unit Dolores von Valencius has been added to the access list and assigned to the identifier Keeper 2. The unit can access the data from the captain's cogitator provided that she possesses the decryption key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's mechanical voice. My word. Okay. Are you leaving us, Heinrichs? The arrangement between the Lord Inquisitor and your predecessor was that I be transported footfall and no further. I dare not take advantage of your generosity and patience any more than I already have, Dolores. Aw, don't leave me. I hope we meet again. True servants of the Empire are always welcome aboard my ship. You are a skilled fighter. I could use people like you. What do you say we extend your stay on my retinue? Finally, my benevolence and patience were both about to run out, so be it. Thank you for the offer, but I must decline. I'm afraid my duty to the Golden Throne comes before everything else. Well, obviously something must happen that he comes back on my ship. Agenda, who is this Reverend Hieronymus who wants to talk to me? He is the head of the Drusian mission on footfall and one of the most prominent clergymen in the sector. Paying him a visit is a good thing for any loyal servant of the Emperor to do. I wouldn't say I'm that loyal. I assisted his mission before I joined Lady Theodora on her voyage. I need his blessing to accompany the new rogue trader of the Von Valencius dynasty. If you wish to have me aboard your void ship, I request that we meet with Reverend Hieronymus. Victus, tell me about the system you're arriving in. Ferabundus is valuable due to its close proximity to the Moor, the gateway to the Imperium. The system is mostly known for footfall, the main base for merchants, privateers, and rogue traders traversing the Koronus Expanse. Additionally, the star itself is orbited by an Adeptus Mechanicus station, which is off-limits to outsiders. Alta Templum Calixus, Ext 17. I had the honor of tending to this shrine for a few thousand cycles. I suggest you abstain from visiting it, as most tech comrades at the station are engaged in meditative calculations that should not be interrupted. What do we know? I need to know about footfall. It is the largest port and the trading capital of the Koronus Expanse. It is a dockyard that will allow us to inspect and repair the void ship, and it boasts its own astropathic choir, the Koronus Expanse Communications Network. Not to mention the pirate hideouts, smuggler caches, and forts belonging to a dozen gangs, groups, and factions. In the Koronus Expanse, the Imperium relies on this as its outpost. The fringes of humanity's domain rarely resemble its central worlds, but so long as footfall serves the God Emperor, insofar as it can, it will be considered a citadel of the Imperium, although I have heard that the tithes it sends are underwhelming, to say the least. Due to footfall's remoteness, it has developed its own rules and customs. Many of the goods that can be procured there would be considered heresy in the heart of the Imperium, enough to warrant summary execution. Moreover, footfall is a domain of the rogue traders, who transcend certain imperial laws by virtue of the warrant they bear. Footfall is just a brief stop. What next? As soon as we solve the issues plaguing the ship and establish contact with the key worlds of your protectorate, the time will come for your Magna Accessio, the official ceremony of donning the mantle of the rogue trader. It is mostly formality at this point. You already possess all the privileges granted by the warrant, and yet it is a major milestone in your personal history, the moment your name graces a list of heads of the Von Valencius dynasty. We are all looking forward to that day, Lord Captain. Abelard, do you know anything about the leisure footfall? Vladaim? Nah, Takata. It's a very peculiar young man. Consider your upcoming conversation a baptism of fire in footfall's political arena. Such things are not spoken out aloud, but Liege Takara is the appointee of the Kaspalika Mission, the largest robber baron crime syndicate in the Calixtus sector. I'm sorry, he what now? I specialize in the coal trade, the buying and selling of all kinds of Xenos rubbish. Okay, that's not good. Footfall was previously run by a liege who did business with several criminal factions at once, but he suffered an accident. The reins of power were picked up by Vladaim Takara, whose appointment benefits not only the Kaspalika, but also the most powerful ally in the Koronus Expanse, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. Vladaim is a slippery yet very cautious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is no fool. Fools do not rise as high in the Casabalican hierarchy. Keep all this in mind. You are a rogue trader. You stand above human status and wield considerable power. Having said that, history has seen cases where the Casabalican barons crossed swords with rogue traders and emerged victorious. Do not forget that and remain vigilant. The Casabalica, vile tech thieves. Pascal's Vox barks at the last word like a profanity. Why does the Liege want to see me so badly? Not you personally. He wishes to meet with the rogue trader of the Von Valencius dynasty. Dakara does not know that Lady Theodora's death, and is simply seeking an audience with the powers that be. My gut is telling me that something must be very wrong on Footfall if our astropath managed to read such strong emotion in such an anodyne message. I said the same thing. We have no information, Lord Captain. The broadcast from the Footfall Astropathic Choir was the only missive Master Zachary has received lately. To the Lady Navigator, I give her leave to make the translation from the warp into real space. Victus begins issuing instructions. The master ship appears to change with her every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the shift to real space, and measured chanting fills the corridors to safeguard the vessel and its crew. Victus turns to you again. One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise and you inheriting the title. Liege Takara will be informed. It is required so we can use the dock, and besides, he is expecting a personal audience with the rogue trader. He will not meet with an unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still the matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive on the station with the proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit incognito. Tell me how these choices will benefit me, Victus. According to Footfall's unwritten laws, rogue traders enjoy special privileges that exceed even the power of the Liege. However, they may choose not to exercise those privileges in certain situations. Arriving incognito will give you more room for maneuver, while an official visit will allow you to directly intervene in local affairs. I shall explain if you do not mind. Good, because that made no sense to me. As per this unwritten rule, every rogue trader arriving at a station has the right to veto any of the Liege's decisions. But there is a catch. The Koronus Expanse is home to several influential rogue trader dynasties, and Footfall's where their interests intersect. Of course, that does not prevent certain persons, Nina Calgos Winterscale, from subtly pulling the strings in Footfall. If you, as a new rogue trader, start your career with an official landing and a parade in your honour, the other dynasties may see this gesture as the newcomer challenging their spheres of influence. I do not see that as a bad thing necessarily. Old Man Winterscale might take slight offence. Corda will be put on her guard, but you have just risen to prominence, and most people in the Koronus Expanse have not even heard about Lady Theodora's departure yet. It must be made clear that the banner of Valencia soars as high as ever. If I may, I would recommend arriving incognito. Look, I'm leaning towards that myself. You will have plenty of opportunities to savour the sweetness and the burden of power, but right now is the last time you can take refuge in obscurity. This way, your arrival will not draw much attention, and the people will treat you as a person and not the almighty sovereign anointed by the Emperor. It could turn some situations to your advantage. I've decided. Tell the Liege I will arrive incognito. It will be done, Lord Captain. Victus bows again. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. Okay, it's been a shit ton of reading. My throat is sore. I'm starving, so we shan't arrive on land just yet. Because we lost... Oh, Hamrex is still there. Interesting. In that case, I'll worry about this shit later. And I will just be on my way. Alright. So, what have we got quest-wise? Tattered Spirit Chapter 2. Many of the systems on the Rogue Trader's ship have suffered damage in the battle with the cultists. The wounded ship's spirit yearns to reach the only port in the sector, Footfall. Make planetfall on Footfall. The dockyard is waiting for the ship in order to begin the full inspection and repairs. Companion quests. Astray for Argenta. Sister Argenta has asked for the Lord Captain's help with a personal matter. Visit Reverend Hieronymus on Footfall. Argenta has something to discuss with the head of the Drusian mission and is counting on the Lord Captain's support. Atrium, Footfall, Furibundus. Other quests. Retain the sword shards in for the future. And classified information. Pascal's found a data bank belonging to the Rogue Trader's predecessor. Authorize it on the person. Okay, actually, let's go do that. Let's go to the personal cogitator. Do I know how to get to my own chambers? No. Apparently it's over here. I believe the cogitator is the thing that had the names on it. Which is... over here, question mark? Nope. Absolutely not. This place is so confusing. Over here? Over here. What room am I in? Oh, the middle room. Okay. That's the vault. Which part of it is the personal cogitator? This yeah, see, this is the thing. Like, that's not what I'm after. How do I get to the personal cogitator? That's the vault. I don't want the vault. I don't understand what you want from me, sir. Bridge cogitator. Pascal Shaw. Oh, the bridge cogitator. I thought he said my personal cogitator. My apologies. I thought you were saying it was a personal one. Okay, that was a waste of time. Back we go. So there's a cogitator here somewhere. Is he going to be standing near it, do you suppose? No. Although I see something interesting down there. Pascal, where am I going? Where is this cogitator? You said it's on the bridge. Maybe it's back over my other way. Anyway, Abel, hello. The person you saved from the Electro-Priest Monastery, the servant of the Omnissiah who calls himself Abel Hanuman, is staring intently at a cogitator's vid screen. Wires connect to the sacred computing machine to orb metrics inside the prayerfully bowed heads of murmuring servitors. Continue. Abel looks up at you. After a lengthy silence, he looks away and says stiffly, "The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. How are you feeling, Abel?" The tech priest stares intently at his feet for a while, and then says in a halting voice, "The running of the Binharic protocols was bogged down and dissolved in false commands. The filter has separated the correct signals from the incorrect. The running has been restored to its swiftness." Pascal speaks softly as we're trying to match the inflections of Abel's voice. Tech Brother Abel has passed the diagnostics. The pernicious influence of sacrilegious procedures has been completely eliminated. Statistically, most survivors of a schematicals infestation are left with severe cognitive impairments. However, Tech Brother Abel's mind, being of a less typical nature, has not been damaged to so great a degree. Gaze into Abel's eyes. Tech Priest Abel, you are free from possession, are you not? I trust that you pose no threat to my ship. Abel's voice quivers, and his eyes dart around, desperately avoiding eye contact. What was flawed has since been purged, but the shadows of the hunt linger. The cog is dismounted, and no judgment has been made. In the absence of judgment, a threat remains. Who will make the judgment? I will. Pascal places a mechadendrite on Abel's shoulder, even never mind the fact that they're not even near each other, and repeats, his voice heavy like a wheel tread, crushing the dirt underneath. I will make the judgment that will avert the threat. His gaze falls on you. There is no need to frighten him. What troubles him so? I assumed at first that this was caused by the shock inflicted upon his system by the schismatical attack, but my tech brother's words are a sign of a deeper reason for his unease. He foresees something that threatens both him and all those around him, and thus I stand ready to face his threat. What judgment do you two speak of? Only he knows. But if my tech brother fears that he might not make the right decision at the critical moment, then I will do it for him. Why are you so concerned about him? He's not the one you were hoping to find. Answer unknown. I am registering a kinship, both between our identifiers and one that is more profound. Archmagos Amanat. How did he pronounce the name? Amanat, I think. Left an imprint on all his students. It may be, then, that I see some of my mentor and tech brother Abel, and so my spirit rejoices and strives to keep him from harm. You care for him as if he were truly your younger brother. Pascal's vox rusps a tired laugh. Tech brother Abel is harmonious, and harmony is beauty. Isn't so strange an urge to protect beauty from the horrors of the grotesque? I will try not to give Abel any undue cause for dread. Thank you. Why do you and Pascal have the same name? Abel freezes. From his vox synth, barely audible through the static, come the words. The naming of the names is not an index to the text. The naming of the names is the text. Abel's answers can be enigmatic. You don't say. His mind works differently from ours. He thinks in harmonic imagery and notices the symmetries and proportional relationships in the world around him. Poetry would be the closest analogy to how he perceives and interacts with reality. I never imagined there could be poets among the tech priests. Pascal, do you understand what Abel's referring to? Soften your tone. Abel, could you please explain what you mean? Abel relaxes a little. His gaze drifts to the side. There is silence. Okay. Are we overthinking it? It doesn't matter why our names are the same. What matters is that they are the same? Is that what you mean? Abel looks sideways at you, and at once his transfixed stupor is gone. At this point in time, the cycle has been broken and reshaped into a rising spiral, as Amarnat envisioned. On hearing his mentor's name, Pascal lets out a raspy, static-filled sigh. They are connected. My hypothesis regarding Abel's connection to the blessed Amarnat has been confirmed. Point to the cogitator. What are you working on? We catch the soul of the light and the soul of wind. We look for the footsteps the Omnissiah left when he walked the desert. This is the oneiromantic computation procedure. The depersonalized minds of these machine servants are in a data stream, processing enormous arrays of assorted data and aggregating them. Virtually all results of such synthesis are scrap data, but occasionally we have noted coincidences whose exactness defied logic. It is an extremely rare and venerated form of statistical augury, but Tech Brother Abel is adept at this form of appealing to the Deus Mechanicus. Why do you do it? Inspect the second machine. Look for logical connections within the data. Most of the runes are devoid of any meaning, but you notice a few among them that combine into formulae and computational graphs. Abel peers at you inquisitively, then shifts his gaze to the vid screen, and you can swear that a smile lights up his face under his respiratory augmetic. It wasn't my success, it was Pascal's. A crystal is exquisite in clear water. Deviation from the cycle's trajectory has been increased, as was Amarnat's wish. Abel lowers his head, and his vox synthesizer broadcasts a binary hymn you do not recall having heard before. Its sound is full of vibrant energy, and its precise rhythm is nothing short of pleasing to the ear, a rare thing for the language of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Pascal explains with an inexplicable air of pride. Tech Brother Abel has dedicated a lesser aria to you. Aw, that's so sweet. The piece is distinguished by a high degree of acoustic harmony and is fit for use as a motto, auxiliary identifier, or epitaph. Bow to Abel. I thank you for the generous gift. The gift is disproportionate, but it does signify a personal affinity. Okay, inspect the second machine. The hair has been removed from every servitor's head. Their bulky cerebral augmetics cover their skulls like helmets. Charming. The faces of the cogitator's servants are blank. Their eyes are closed. Their lips are incessantly whispering what sounds like gibberish. Hundreds of lines of symbols containing information scroll down the cogitator's vid screen. Abel Hanuman peers at it with voracious interest, in sharp contrast to his usual placidity. Why do you do it? It is how we execute the quest for knowledge in the hope that the machine god grants us an epiphany, so that we may discern a logical connection in a mass of absurd data, which will propel our comprehension forward. Okay, my interest in this subject has been exhausted. Abel goes back to intently watching the calculations, his eyes alight with curiosity. Turn to Pascal. Did you hear what Abel said? It seems we have contributed to Amarnat's design and deviated from the cycle. What does that mean for you? I thought that's what I heard. I'm like, am I just misunderstanding? Because that doesn't sound good for Pascal and everybody else who follows the Omnissiah. But Pascal didn't react. But here we go. A low guttural sound rises from the depths of Pascal's voxith, as though the planet's tectonic plates are shifting and crushing each other. The mighty rumble brings forth words imbued with power. We follow a path charted by a great mind, but that path leads to dark places. Oh my, look at those options. The cycle has the advantage of predictability. Abandoning it will plunge the collective into a perilous space of uncertainty, which will inevitably lead to disasters and the risk of universal annihilation. The doctrine of discontinuing the cycle may herald good things to come, or it may be a death sentence. Only the Omnissiah knows all and comprehends all. Others are mere prophets who interpret his wisdom as far as their own comprehension permits. Is that not the premise of every heresy? Let's renounce our path, distort our doctrine, and head out toward what looks like a better future, but actually only has danger and grief in store for us. That's a very good point to make. As flawed as the status quo is, it has helped us survive for the past 10 millennia. Therefore, it is effective. Better to die fighting against change than to rot alive. Disaster is just another word for a new opportunity. Not missing it is what it's all about. I am no prophet. I will not presume to make pronouncements on the future. Ooh, 105. I mean, I am no prophet, but is it not the promise of every heresy? This statement is true. Many dangerous philosophies appear impeccably logical, yet have dangerous defects that their creators were unaware of. There is a doubt in the tech priest's voice. Oh no, could we take him off the path of the Omnissiah? Oof. A tone of thundering profundity drains from Pascal's vox, giving way to his familiar sibilance. Okay. Abel immediately looks away as if he's lost all interest in you, but then his vox crackles, barely audible. I am glad to see. Aww. Oh, he's such a peach. I'm glad I saved you. I hope you continue to survive, Abel. Now, where is this bloody cogitator? Cogitator. That's my quarters. Cogitator. Anybody seen cogitator? I certainly haven't. Where is the damn thing? Over here? The reflections of the bridge lights are playing on the unlit vid screens of the cogitator. Next to the machine stands a hunched tech priest. His posture looks impeccable to me, who bows as you approach, his body nearly folding in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirit of this mechanism slumbers. Should you wish to awaken it, use the key of your blood. Bro, I just lost like a pint of blood to this thing 2 seconds ago, and you want me to go for round 2? Who are you, and what is your purpose here? Oopsies, I clicked number 2. Never mind. The key you seek is the dynastic blood that runs in your veins. It is the only way to rouse this cogitator's machine spirit. When you're ready to do so, place your hand into the mouth of the guardian servitor on the blessed control panel. I'm gonna go back to number 1. My designation is IH-630. The tech priest points his only mechadendrite at the machine beside him. The venerated engine seer Prime has entrusted the sacred mechanism into my care. It is now my duty to assist in the rogue trader's understanding of the hallowed code. Okay, well, let's go for round 2, guys. The servitor's powerful jaws close around your hand with a screeching clack. You feel the cold metal pierce your skin and draw blood. The vid screens in front of you flicker restlessly, filling with numerical combinations. The tech priest by the cogitator nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. Pascal has informed me that the system has encrypted data stored inside. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, the tech priest turns to the cogitator. He raises his hands, and a prayer of binharic code, still don't know what that word means, pours out of his Vox device. The servo motors in the bowels of the machine grow louder, its undulating hum responding to his chant. Numerical combinations run down the screens. 059. Registering, initializing, operations off. The machine spirit has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. The tech priest stops abruptly, and the green glow of his visor narrows. Registering an intact segment, the machine spirit has spoken. The worlds of Kiava, Gamma, and Dargonus. Dargonus? Oh, I had this problem 2 seconds ago. Did I? Dargonus. Hold certain data repositories. The mechanism is ready to provide the rotator with data keys that can unlock said repositories. Aren't those my worlds? What are data repositories? That remains hidden. The encrypted databank belonged to the esteemed Theodora von Valentius. She was the only one who could have known about these repositories. Perhaps the former engine seer Prime could have also known. Omnissiah accepted his code. If I were to propose a hypothesis, it would be most prudent of a figure as eminent as a rogue trader to store her classified data in receptacles most secure. Okay, how do I accept the keys? Input. Resp. Initializing. The gracious machine spirit is willing to transfer the data keys to the head of House von Valentius by means of an electu. Oh, no, please don't. Oh, I suppose my pretty fur coat's going to cover the tattoos. A hypodermic tattoo augment. If you're ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. I didn't realize I'd taken my hand out. Deep within the servitor's dark gullet, unseen, burning hot needles pierce your wrist, but the sharp pain only lasts a moment. Haha, as if only that worked with all our tattoos. The electrode that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. So I physically have to go to them, though. Well, where are they? You told me what planets they're on, but not exactly... planets are a big place. It's a bit hard to pinpoint where the locations are. I need to know more about the caches. Input. Okay. The tech priest's augmented fingers dart around the control panel. Oh dear. The Omnissiah favours you. The machine spirit is willing to commence the calculation procedure that can restore the lost data. Restore the data of the cache located on Dargonus. Dargonus? Fuck, I don't know. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding crackle. Then the sound stops, and an unmoving numerical combination lights up on the screen. The tech priest's synthesized voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it is only a single phrase. Litanies of the motive force. That is all the sacred mechanism is able to salvage. Okay, well, go for round 2. The servo motors within the cogitator pick up the pace, their heavy thrum growing louder. The machine clicks abrasively for several minutes, until eventually a numerical code appears on the screen. The tech priest turns to you. Blessed are the Omnissiah's deeds. The repository of Kiava Gamma has a security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered a code that will allow you to disable the defenses. Oh yay, winning! I have other questions, the tech priest bows. Have the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus been able to discern how the ship was able to start her warp engine? The Agency of Prime spends hours pursuing the quest for knowledge in hopes of comprehending the nature of said miracle. May the Omnissiah's grace guide him on his journey. There is no doubt that it was a miracle sent by the Omnissiah as a manifestation of his will, yet the Agency of Prime managed to perceive some logical connection within the streams of data. I am not privy to this connection, but the Agency of Prime will surely share this newly discovered knowledge with you in a detailed report. Okay, bye! I did as you wanted, Pascal. Find the hidden cache on Dagonus, find the hidden cache on Kiava Gamma. Well, sad news is we're not going there. We are going to Footfall.